Hi, I'm Christopher McClinton, CMO for Finxact. Welcome to this episode of Extensible Podcast. Really pleased to have as a guest today, Jonathan Weston, who is our Director of ISV Partnerships. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello, hello. Great to be here.
Really glad that you dropped in. And the topic today is one that's a lot of people around Finxact are really excited about, our ecosystem of trusted partners. And I'm hoping that you can help our audience today just understand how we're creating possibilities for growth, for innovation, for mutual value creation, and then just, share some of the excitement that I know you bring to that.
Absolutely.
Maybe first though, how'd you get here? What you've been up to? What's the trajectory look like briefly for yourself?
So my career has been one in business development, sales, and in my last stint, I started to look back at my career and said, well, there's a couple of things I keep finding myself doing, and that's building cool new things in established companies and building partnerships. And so as you start to combine those two skill sets that you're finding in a corporate setting, that's where we start finding, hey, this is what I like to do with my time during the day. And that's how that's what I've been doing for the past 7 years now, is building business units, building ISV partnerships.
Yeah, and I will say, Finxact is, as I know you've heard this many times, it's a platform for banking, for fintech, for embedded finance.
Yeah.
We're helping businesses in those segments build their solutions, bring their solutions to market. And you're coming from probably the most successful platform play that many of us have seen at Salesforce. So I just wondered if you might spend a minute, talking about what you were doing there, and to the extent that it's applicable and translatable to your responsibility and your remit at Finxact, and analogies if you see any.
Well, what I was doing there last is I was building a partnership motion that went and found startups around the globe, and we got them in the Salesforce ecosystem faster, and we enabled them, and we got them working in a way where they found good market success. But what I really learned there was it's really about a three-pronged approach to partnership, and it's really centered around the first, we have to have a great technology story. Why are we better together? What do we together do better than anybody else? And why would we do it together? And we have to both believe that, both see it, both understand it, so that we can develop and forge a partnership that's got a really strong technology story. Second, we have to have a contractual relationship that's not one-sided, meaning I'm charging you money and you're not getting value, or I'm on the hook for a bunch of resources for you and you're not generating anything. So you have to have a win-win commercial construct that incentivizes both sides, both parties, to use this partnership. Like we have to, it's an important motion. And then lastly, it can't be that the partnerships team is the only people that know this whole ISV, and the ISV only knows this partnership team. It has to be a good relationship across the board. Meaning we need executive sponsors. We need our sales team. We need our marketing team. We need all kinds of people. We need our sales enablement folks. We need all kinds of people inside our organization to know of this company. And this company needs to have people that they know inside of our walls so that they can really call us partners. It's very easy to sign a partnership documentation agreement. That's literally the easiest part. The real part is the work that happens after you sign the agreement, after you've invested in developing the technology. Then what happens? That's the difference between a successful ecosystem and one that's got a lot of paperwork and shelfware.
Yeah, that's a really helpful framework, I think. And I remember talking to you shortly after you came on board, and I was re-energized by all that you saw in Finxact as a platform.
Yeah.
And its potential. And just, I think a lot of companies would like to position their product as a platform where maybe that's not always the case, and it's not always appropriate. It's okay. There are some stellar, solutions out there. that are not trying to be platforms because they don't need to be. That's just not the business model.
Right.
But in the case of Finxact, it is. It's a customer journey platform. We're facilitating the customer journeys. It's business capabilities that we're making possible. It's infrastructure provisioning.
Mhm.
So all of these things we are bringing to the table to help the partners be able to be laser focused on what they're doing, the solution that they're bringing to market, and go win with it. But that's a fun memory for me, just because it did sort of help me to see it in a different light, and just, as I said, be re-energized by it. But maybe you go again, like what did you see in Finxact that made you think, hey, I can take this to the next level? It's got the ingredients.
Yeah, the one of the things I was really drawn to Finxact was because of that revolutionary approach to core banking. One, just the, what do we do? And then the industry has been so ripe um, for innovation, especially when it comes to delivering these real time cloud native solutions that can scale like that. We're hungry for that in the marketplace. But then Fintech not only was redefining what was possible when it came to terms of platform flexibility and speed, but it was then empowering financial institutions to integrate best of breed and best of class solutions. So it became this new model almost for me, the opportunity to build ecosystem around an engine was really attractive, and it was really compelling, and such a because it was just so agile and innovation, it met the market needs. It just felt like the right thing to do, and I was just really attracted to the openness of so it was paving the way for what I would say is endless possibilities. Like the things that we can imagine that we should be and can do today are just like the beginning, because we're imagining what we could do tomorrow based on what we did yesterday. But when we start building an ecosystem of different ideas, imagine what tomorrow could look like. And that is the thing that really it drives me, and it drives me always to enjoy this ecosystem building.
It was the right thing to do. Good decision. We're thrilled to have you. Maybe just have a crack at just distill the ecosystem value proposition to our prospective partners out there.
Openness, flexibility, innovation. If we had to break it down, um, it's gaining access to, like I said, the cloud native platform, API driven, and so it allows for this seamless integration experience and really rapid deployment. If you're looking for that, that's what you're going to find with Finxact. But you also have behind the curtain a host of and years of experience in financial services, in delivering financial services products to banks around the globe. These people have done it before, and they've built and scaled these industry standard tools in the marketplace. And so that's the really interesting and cool part. It's you have this really cool and innovative product that's got a lot of experienced people behind it that know a lot of the industry players and characters, and they're very well respected in the industry.
Yeah, it is. Again, I like the way you put that. Our partners, they should be freed up to focus on the value that they are bringing to market. And then it's our job to show up with the domain knowledge such that, the ledger is immutable. The transactions are always in balance. It's real time, not taking a nap at the end of day for reconciliation. Cloud native, that it scales at the level that financial institutions, the largest financial institutions require. All of that we're bringing that. You focus on what you do, and together, as you said, we're better together.
Yeah.
But that's really, I get excited about that. What are some of the opportunities for the partners to take advantage of the Fintech ecosystem?
Yeah, it all starts with Finxact.io. We are trying to work at the openness of how this thing looks and feels. And so you as a partner can get access to that. And then from there, you can start learning about that API architecture and how it would work with your technology. And you can just see how easy it would be for us to work together. That's step one. It's really we're trying to make it as easy as possible for our ISVs to get to know us, and that's where you'd start.
Yeah, our audience is definitely going to hear a lot more about Fintech.io.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. I'm not overstating it. I've been at Fintech long enough to see sometimes that, just the work and the effort that's required to implement Finxact, and whether that's our partners, whether that's our clients. And it has been, that team's mission to make that a better experience. And it is just a beautiful engagement model that helps everybody along that spectrum: clients, the actual operators of the system at the bank, our partners, our prospects. Really exciting stuff. Are you able to maybe give us some examples of use cases of some of how some of the ISV partners are engaging today?
Yes, we can. Let's talk about it. I think that there's two different types of folks that are engaging. There are those strategic partners that say, hey, these are core functions that before you can turn the lights on any core banking project, we must be in place. Those folks are there, and we can talk about what those look like. And then you have the folks that are innovative partners, meaning these, when you get the lights turned on, if you really want to do this or that for your distinct audience, or the group that you're trying to service with your platform, we have really the distinct products that we're going to get ready for you there. So how do we reduce the time it takes to turn something on? That's an important part, getting faster at this thing. How do we do that so that we have more products? And so we have folks out there that are working on unique products. You name the type of product out there that people are thinking about, and people are making the entrepreneurs are in Finxact.io coming up with cool new ideas that we have never thought of. And that's the exciting part about when you start opening up an ecosystem and teaching people, allowing people to learn about how to build with you. You get more builders, and you have people that are enabled and able to then build companies around different use cases.
It's super exciting and validating, I think, just to see companies. To cite a few, we have companies that are building modern mortgage servicing platforms,
Sure.
running on the Fintech ledgers. We have companies, financial technology companies, that are servicing retailers, huge retailers, to help them bring point of sale lending right into the checkout experience. So it is a lot of fun to watch, our partners get engaged and then start to grow and create that value together.
And I really love it when we're in a meeting and someone's like, hey, we have, I have a partner right now that they're figuring out how a bank could use facial recognition to do a check-in process when people, before they get to the teller line, we use facial recognition and to check them in as soon as they walk through the bank. Like, so many different innovative ideas that are going to be, rolled out to the marketplace over the next couple of years. And we're going to start seeing these little new things. And if we think about banking for the last 15 years, what kind of products didn't we have 10 years ago that are normal now? Like things like keep the change or rounding up and things like that were these big projects that banks had to do. And now that you have the Finxact platform and you can, this is just built into, it's already a part of it. Like, you don't even need to think about that as a separate project.
It feels good, doesn't it, to be an innovation enabler?
Yeah, it does. It does.
You want to like take credit for some of those ideas. They're not ours, but our partners are going out there and they're just turning on the creativity.
Yeah.
I think I've probably mentioned before on this podcast that Finxact is in a very interesting, and I would say enviable, just space that we occupy. And we're serving several different segments that have really broad reach. So when you start to think about banking, they're, not just community institutions or tier one institutions, global institutions, but sort of across that spectrum. You start to think about Fintech, the financial technology companies that are like the one that I cited, that are, using the Finxact microservices to deliver their solutions into retail and corporate brands. And then the MFI world, how that is opening up. And then you think about, our partners. Well, our partners take certain various forms. There are cloud partners because we're deploying Finxact into all of the major public clouds. We have those that are just bringing technology solutions into the ecosystem because a particular client asked them to. But how do you look at those? I don't want to call them categories, but how do you look at those different participants?
it's the I have this image that we created where it says it's got the ecosystem, right? And
Mm.
how do you like visually represent what a potential ecosystem could look like? And you really have to kind of boil it down into, you know, who they serve and what they do. But, for me, the ISVs are kind of, the ISVs have three parts. There's the folks that have like the API integration layer folks and folks that build some sort of more complex extension builders where they kind of have a managed package inside of using Finxact to kind of drive more value and more distinct solutions. And then they have the OEM partners, which is be a part of that, that these folks are building born on Finxact native solutions, new technology that's just re-innovating what can be done with the pieces and parts of a Finxact platform. And then you have to have folks that know how to build it and advise about it
Okay.
and talk about it and understand how to guide our clients to one solution or another solution, and those are our SI partners. And these individuals, and then also, how do you? They're the ones who tell you how to integrate it, pull it all together in a way that works for your end goal. These are the folks that are thought leaders in understanding how this technology can all work together in the most efficient way for our partners. And then we have other technology partners that are just these enabling technologies that we run on, that we need them to, so we have to consume these individuals
Mm.
to make all this stuff work. And so we have to be the folks in the forefront that are out there understanding and building an ecosystem that they can invest in, not just buy a piece of technology, it's not just buying a piece of software. It's really buying into an ecosystem that has a wide array of technologists that can support the growth, your growth as a company. Wouldn't it be great if you had a technology platform that you didn't have to rip and replace, but you could adjust, you could fix, you could modify so that you say, this is where we're going to get our next tranche of clients from. And this is what we must do. This is what we must adjust. We don't have to do open heart surgery. We can change these pieces out to get this outcome. And that's what we must do.
What are some of the, as the partners progress, as they mature, as our emotions, together just become, increasingly, um, just more effective, more harmonious, like what becomes the marketing, the go to market, motions that kind of kick off from that to
Yeah.
present that better together story?
Yeah. Uh, One, it's a lot of planning in the beginning. We don't just haphazardly come into what we're going to talk about wherever we are, but the bones of it is visibility, visibility, visibility. Do we know who you are inside the halls of Finxact? Do you know who we are inside of the halls of our partner? Outside of, do we know each other? Do our sales teams know each other? Do they know your product? Do you understand where our clients are going to need your product? Do our sales teams understand what they need to listen out for to know that it's specifically you is the right answer? Wherever we are, we want to invite our partners to be there with us, right? So we are going to be out at, high visibility conferences like Forum, others around the country. But we want to invite our partners there. We want to facilitate fantastic conversations that are not just haphazard, not just coincidental, but these are planned discussions about topical points that progress the the partner's position with our clients. We want our partners to be not just um, uh, logos on a screen somewhere, but really strong allies to us as we go out, and that we want them to be believing in what we're doing and believe that we are there for them. And so we want them to be wherever we are. So one of the things that we do in the ISV team is we're going to understand what they do well. We're going to understand it within the marketplace, what problems are out there. And we're going to be working tirelessly to kind of connect those dots. And if there's an opportunity there, we're going to probe, our sales teams to understand, hey, this partner does this. Do you understand I mean, have you heard anything about how they're going to address this problem or that problem? These are things that are critical to getting conversations started. And then now we have selling teams working to figure out the problems that our clients need solving. It's simply a better for our clients to as we go together. And so that's what I'm excited. I'm very excited about that go to market.
And you're very kind not to just turn that question back on me as the CMO asking you what our
Oh,
marketing activities are not right taking shape. But no, I think that's super. And you guys do have a great looking example, I think, of what you were just citing coming up at Forum into September. Several of our partners, both on the SI side, tremendous success story with one of our bank clients, just talking about how this comes to life. Wow. So looking really forward to that. Um, well, I really appreciate you dropping in. Maybe you could send us off with just let's help those that want to take the next step, take it. How do they engage with you and your team?
well, I mean, if you want to have a conversation, go to our partnerships page at finxact.com. Just sign up for partnership information. But if you want to, after you do that, go over to fintech.io. Set yourself up a profile. Get your hands dirty. Go look at your technology. Go look at our technology. Let's get ahead of I promise you, the first question I'm going to ask you is what problem are you solving and who you're solving it for. But after that, we're going to talk about the technology. I'm going to be thinking about how your technology and our technology would play together and what is it going to do for our clients and who uses it today. And I'm going to get into how we're going to use it. So if you want to get ahead of that, go to finxact.io.
Right on.
Go to finxact.io. Start working on that answers to that question. That's what I would say.
Super. Thanks for being with us, Jonathan.
Thank you.